Welcome to another episode of Moms Behind the Brand, and this is a super treat for us. We're doing our first 1 year later with Donna and Dwayna from TGND, the Girls Next Door Consulting, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to speak with you all again and just see where you are, what's going on, and what has changed in the last year. So, I don't know who wants to start first, but ladies, jump right in. Let us know what has changed and where are you in business and in life in a year later.
My goodness, so much has changed. I know when we did our first interview with Jasmine, we were I was a new mom of two. Dwayna was about a year and a half in of being a mom of almost a 2-year-old.
Maybe because he wasn't even walking then. Remember, he was in. Well, no, yeah, he was almost 2. I think so. Yeah.
He was one, yeah, just turned 1. Yeah. So she had an infant. I had a newborn slash infant. Yeah, it was crazy. So crazy time. So since then, we now both have toddlers. Yes. And we are, I would give our pats on the back and say we're doing our thing with the being moms of multiples. And since then, we've lost our grandmother. We had to bury her. We took a break as business owners, with just being a mom of multiples, running a business. That that we were heavily involved in, like planning the funeral, there while she was in hospice, there while she was in the hospital. It was a lot on us, and with all the things that we do, as I mentioned, and then we're wives, and then we're sisters. It's like just the list of things that we do. It was just too much. So we realized that we were like operating from a place of exhaustion, and we no longer wanted to do that. So we took some time off shortly after that, and since then we have rebranded. So here we are. We are now a creative comms agency, for same name, but we are doing things now for creatives, authors, speakers, and Dwayne, I'll let you add in there too. But yeah, so since then we have rebranded. We're not just a straight PR agency anymore. As I mentioned, we are a creative communications agency, offering services for creatives.
That is so exciting. I'm so sorry to hear about your grandmom. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
in the midst of everything, toddlers and life, being wives and sisters and business, I'm sure that was difficult, especially being hands on in the arrangement. So I'm so sorry to hear about that. So sorry.
Yes. Yes, and just the thing, like we realized too, like in that time, we didn't have the opportunity to properly grieve, and I don't think that's a lot of business owners don't talk about like how do you push through as an entrepreneur when balancing life like loss, like a loss, like grief, like within how you maneuver through grief. Because if you are not working, the business is not making money, right? If you're not able to show up to your full capacity, it's gonna be seen, right? So, um, we really realized from there. I think we that was like really the highlight. Like, okay, whoa, this is not sustainable. We need to kind of reel it back.
So, what did that look like for you all?
So I would say it started to happen slowly. I feel like okay. It being two business owners, that was the great part, right? Because as I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and handling like the day-to-day stuff with my grandma, Dwayna would come back and forth down the highway, and when she was gone, she would focus on business, right? But it got to the point to where it was like she really also started feeling like the burnout and overwhelm of like coming up and back down the back and forth down the highway, right? Juggling the two in Georgia with still trying to create her village. So from there, it was like, wait, okay, I think we need to kind of take a break, right? Because it happened slowly. I wouldn't say we were like, okay, instantly she died. Okay, we just need to stop. It was like, we're not showing up as our 100% selves. And anything that we do, we want to make sure we do it to our fullest capability. We are like one of the things my grandmother, my mom raised us to do is to show up to your best, to do and do your best. And we knew, and we were at the point to where we weren't able to give that. Wayne, do you want to add something to that?
Well, I want to go back to I want to add to that, but then go back to piggyback and go off the services that we offer now. Based on our pivot and the change in the business. But I would say, yeah, I think it happened over time. It wasn't like a thing that was like a day to day for us. It was like we realized like over time, it was like for me anyways, I kind of started to feel stuck, right? I started to feel stuck. And like because I started to feel that way. It was just like I felt like nothing was happening or nothing was moving. Really, nothing was happening, right? Nothing was happening in the business. It was like, yeah, we say we have this business, but nothing is happening and nothing is changing and no money is coming in and we're not actually even working the business to even bring it in. So we realized, okay, let's just go ahead and take the break because it's like, in a sense, we were faking the funk. It was just like, yeah, no. And I'm like, I'm more of a realist. So I'm like, yeah, we're not, let's just take a break because we're not moving no needle, right? And so that for me that was when I realized, okay, go ahead. And then also too, just when you constantly are moving around like that, you realize you'll fall into 1 second, Boopy. No, I can't help you with the game right now because mommy's on this call, so give me a second, okay? No. Okay, so I realized that I was running around really like a zombie in a sense. So it was like faking the funk was a eye opener for me, or a way for me to realize, okay, do we need to take a seat back? But then like feeling like a like zombie-ish and like numb, walking around numb. I guess that would be a better word to say it. Just exhausted, zombie. I equate that to zombie exhaustion, and then the numbness. We joined a mastermind and realized, okay, there's some mindset stuff that we need to do. There's some traumas that we need to lay to rest and say, you're safe now, whatever the case is, because we had some, just to give some history on the relationship we had with my grandmother. She was like we were like this because at one point in life she had to take care of us for a couple of years because my mother wasn't able to, right? So because she had to step in, and during that time it was like a lot of trauma, a lot of family trauma that was happening. So she didn't have to step in because my mother just needed a break and help. She had to step in because life was a hot mess, okay? And
Yeah.
losing her brought those traumas back up, right? And you not realize, you thinking, oh, I'm
I'm
helping you.
over it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so we had to do some mindset work, and we've been in this mastermind over this past year that has been really helping us do that. But that's what some of the signs for me. Mm-hmm.
There was a ton of feelings in life that happened between there. What did that actually feel like for both of y'all?
I see.
For
Go ahead, Donna.
sorry, when there's a lag on your end, my bad. For me, it was like the feeling of heaviness, right? Like the overwhelm. And one of the things, and we do exercises in our mastermind, so like I would feel like the heaviness in my shoulders. But that makes sense. You're trying to carry everything. You're trying to carry everything. Your body's like, girl. But one of the things for me, it was like no matter what I would always go through, or things like life would hit me, it's like I'd be like, oh no, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. And it's like I was carrying all of that here. And I remember one time, even before I left corporate, before I even started this business with Dwayna, before we started this business, I was in corporate and they had like an employee day. They had people come out like masseuses. They like did a lot of nice things for us. And I remember going to get my massage, and the lady was like, "Relax your shoulders." And I said, "I am." I'm relaxing. She said, "No, you're not." And she said, "This is what relaxing is to you. I suggest that you go home this weekend, do nothing, get a bottle of wine." But that was before I was even a mom.
Wow.
You don't really think about the weight you carry when you're like roboting out, living life like a robot. And I probably needed a break then. And that was before I was even a mom or a business owner. And it was I just kept going. But I feel like too, like as Black women in general, but Black women specifically, we want to carry it all. We want to have all the way. Like, it's like that's normal for us, and that's not normalcy. We were raised to think it's normal because those are the cards we are dealt. But once you become more self-aware, once you start working on your mindset, you're like, wait, this is not sustainable. This is not this is not what it is. And so we realized with that, with feeling like that, we didn't want to continue to do that. Yeah.
And Dwayna?
Yeah, I honestly feel like we're still getting there. I would say I'm still getting there. I feel like as business owners, we're still getting there as well. Just transparently speaking, I feel like day to day, is a progress of doing a show up, show up for yourself. I think also one of the biggest eye openers for me is like just the self-worth aspect. So I've been working towards self-worth on a day-to-day because I realized that was something that wasn't even a thing for me. Like I've always been a confident person, always known I was capable, always known I was beautiful, always known I had skill, whatever the case is, right? But it's nothing like being confident and then not valuing your confidence, right? Or like putting, because you know what you're capable of, putting with like your opportunities or whatever the case is on the back burner. And I realized, like in this journey of motherhood and loss and grief and everything, that one of the things I'm good at doing is putting everything I need to do on the back burner, right? It's like, 1 second, will be. So working through that, I think is one of the things I'm still doing on a day to day. But I think that was also something that trigger and trauma. Losing my grandmother brought up a trauma for me that made me realize that was like self worth is still something that I need to work on. Also, too, uh, showing up every day and telling myself like you're safe, because this is when my grandmother had to jump in, she saved us, right? So in my mind, the little girl
Mhm.
came back and was just like, the person that saved you is not here. And it's like, no, you're safe. You've been safe. So doing the mindset
Mhm.
work on a day to day. So I'm still growing in that area, trying to show up as I used to, because I realized doing that, like I was like all about work. Like I didn't play about work, and now it's just like more about rest and like being okay with not getting the to-do list done for work, trying to be okay with it, right? Because I know some days I'm like, well, I know what I desire to get done, but still being able to show up for myself. Like even on today, right? Today we put the because I'm in Georgia and I'm still working on this village of mine, but also I realized through this process he needs to be in childcare, and it's okay. He'll be safe. Speaking of the safe, right? He'll be safe because how are you really like? Okay, boo boo. Yeah,
It's my turn, Mom. It's my turn.
Oh, stop it.
like what? Like that's not even real. But yeah. So being able to still like say I can show up for my kids, which fine, but still being able to show up for myself, which is like something that I'm working on day to day. So I would say I'm still working on getting back to that doing. I don't want to say getting back to that doing it because we want to grow, we want to go backwards. So I'm still working on growing towards being able to like be into business every day. But on the days that I am able to knock things out, I'm giving myself praise, and like and on the days that I'm not able to, giving myself grace. So yeah, we're working on it.
Everything that you all just said in regards to resistance, I literally had the same exact thing going on. Like at the beginning of the year, I was all excited. Oh, I'm launching the podcast. I'm doing it. I'm ready. And then I'm like, okay, well, how do I do the editing? My team isn't here. How do I make it work? And then, okay, well, now I want to, if I'm going to be on the podcast, I have to like have some type of CTA. Like, what am I going to share? What are the services? How do I put everything together and make it work? I spent about 8 months working in the background, figuring out how to make my systems work. So I absolutely overstand everything you just said. And it hits personally. And sometimes when you're creating, you don't think that what you're creating is helping you heal and grow, and then you can help somebody else. Because if you don't actually go through it, how can
Mhm.
you really, really help? So it
Yeah,
makes total sense to me.
that's your why. It's like, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? It's like that's the why, and that's one of the things that we try to pull out of our client stories. The way you got through the journey and the process. So for example, a fitness coach, right? They may have been overweight. They may have been overweight or had bad healthy choices and habits from childhood, right? And then they went through this journey of maybe sickness, and then they got their life together. Like sharing the journey is one, the way people connect with you, but that somebody is 1,000 other people, 1,000,000 other people out here that had the same thing that happened to you. So now they want a part of your program or a part of your lead magnet or a part of whatever you're offering because you was open and willing to share your story. So I just wanted to put that out there because that's literally what we teach clients to do. Be open with sharing your story. And even like during this journey is not cute, right? For me, right? I have kids. We're living with my father-in-law for the third time, right? Some people aren't willing to be authentic and share that. I don't mind. It's a part of the journey, right?
Mommy,
You would never know how many other more women can connect. And yeah, cut the paper with the scissors. You would never be able to know how many other women are experiencing that same thing, and it makes them feel like they're not alone. My husband is the owner operator of a truck. He's on the road, so oftentimes I'm having to, full-time mommy hat, right? And being able to share like the different experiences I'm going through. Like right now I'm doing that on my, my personal channels, just to be able to allow people to understand and know me better and more, to be able to want to buy my story, which is a book, right? That I created, a children's book. So being able to really be,
Right.
yeah, right there. So being able to share those stories, share the journey, I feel like that's really a selling point. That's the selling point. But yeah.
Now, we definitely have to go into the book, but I don't want to leave off right there because I know there are so many women that need to understand that you don't have to be ashamed where you are. I stay with my parents right now, and I wouldn't be able to be mom and maintain a household and do my business full time like I'm doing it right now, like from scratch,
Yeah.
without the support of my family.
Right.
So I'm not ashamed of that. It is an intentional decision. I didn't buy a car intentionally so my resources can go into the business and building what I'm building. So, like, there is no shame. And especially when it's an intentional decision, listen, authenticity.
Absolutely, that part right there. But one of the things that the devil will try to do, he'll try to creep in and make you feel like, you should be doing more.
Yes.
And not even just shame, like make it like trickery, make you feel like, well, you know, I because for me, I'm gonna just give from my perspective, like I am in the part to where I'm trying to express more gratitude, but another side of me is like I want to have my own space, and I want to do this, and I want to be able to buy this, and I want to be able to go here, and I want to be able to travel here, but it's like, girl, aren't you picking your kids up from the car at like aren't you able to show up intentionally, like aren't you able to pour into your business? So what I'm saying is like you have to be mindful of that too, because like yes, we could be in a space of gratitude, but I feel like even in this space of where I'm trying to get mindset back, it's like the little moments to where he's trying to creep in and play the tricks on my mind and say, well, it's not all so good, but it's just like, no, it's gratitude in it. So one of the things that me and Donna have been talking about a lot lately is just me expressing more gratitude in the day to day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I love that you share that because I also didn't mention I relocated. Like I'm now in Dallas, Texas, right? I
How do
literally
I
got
pivot?
rid of everything, left our house with everything. Like in the midst of all of that too, like I got rid of a car. I had them come pick that bad boy up. It was like in and out the shop. It was like
But
okay,
Donna,
but
don't
God made
skip
a way
the
for
left
everything. I live in
everything.
Dallas.
Don't skip the left everything. Explain that.
Skip to left everything. So yeah, we left our house. When I say we got rid of 75% of our belongings, whether it was sold, donated, or given to family members, literally left with the new truck that we have, piled that thing up, bought a little attachment to go at the back to bring most of our kids stuff because we knew that the things that we couldn't leave was the kids stuff, right? It's like this is a huge transition for the children, mainly our 7-year-old. The 2-year-old, he literally had just turned 2 a week after we left, so he was still fresh and little. So, but literally left everything, and like we are like rebuilding, and it's so like I was like like it was so much resistance for me to even do that, right? It was like God, like I couldn't, the acceptance of the surrender was very hard for me. It was like I do not want, I need to control what's happening right now. I do not want to surrender. I don't want to accept this. But it was like, okay, God, you're bringing me here for a reason. Like I'm here in Dallas, Texas. We're also in our mother-in-law's house, beautiful big house, and it's like I
They
do not
have a
want to do
movie
that.
theater, by the way.
Look, having what? Oh, it has a movie theater. Yeah. Yes, like, but it was like I don't like I lived in big houses myself. Like it's not so it wasn't something. It was like, girl, God is taking you and trying to rebuild for you. Just go ahead and do it. Like in the midst of all of that, like I thought I was about to leave my husband. Like so much stuff was transpiring, and I feel like that needed to happen because God had to kind of snatch things away for me to be to to fully focus on Him and get in alignment to what He wanted me and what He has me to do in this calling of life. So yeah, I am. We've been here now for 5 months. The end of December will make 6. It's crazy how time flies. But yeah, literally, like God snatched everything away from me. He was like, "Girl," He started snatching stuff prior to that. Lost my grandmother. The business wasn't doing well. It was like, okay, Lord, what's happening here? But here we are today, and I'm able to use that as a testimony because it's a story to tell for sure. And it's like so many of us, we don't realize when life isn't going the way we plan it, right? Because it's not really our plan. It's not our plan. And sometimes we can't see it. Especially if we grew up in like survivor mode and we got out made something of ourselves, and we're like we have this idea of a stature of life that we want to live and lead, right? But when that all changes, it's like, wait, like I'm losing control, but it's like it's really not losing control. We never had control to begin with.
For sure.
So everything had to fall for it to come right back into place.
And control, what we've learned is control is an illusion. Like that is not reality. It's not reality. It's not realistic. It's not real. It's really trauma. It's a trauma response. So talk about like the things that we had to unteach ourselves and that we've been learning. And yeah, it's been a journey to say the least.
Mm-hmm. He was definitely telling you he would take everything from you. So now we're in the place of like, because we realized too, like in the process of like growing the business, we almost hit six figures, right? We was like literally a couple of thousand shy of 6 figures one year, and we was reaching our goal.
We hit it. We were like $1,000 off. I tell her all the time that was 6 figures.
Yeah, but needless to say, we did all of that, right? And we've always like grown our business on like the foundation of God and faith and things of that nature. But we realized we had got away from that, right? And it was like more so given the I won't say the credit to, because we do the work, right? It's like faith without works is dead, but it was more so we wasn't operating from a place of solely relying on God to align us or show us out in business, basically show us the path in business. And he made us sit down and was just like, okay, since you're not going to do it, I'm gonna make you sit down, see that you need, like, you can do nothing else. Like, it was like you have no more resources to pull from. The only resource you got is me now. Like, that's the only resource you're gonna have. So what you gonna do with it?
Listen, that was the theme of this year, clearly, because when I say I would go out and do like Amazon Flex, and that would be my extra money so I don't have to work a 9 to 5, be available to my son while he's doing his therapies and all of that. And when I say 2 cars broke down at the same time, I was like, oh my God.
Breaking down
Freaking down, mom got stolen right out of the driveway. It was just like, took that out. I was like, you know what, God, you trying to take that car note out of my hands? Go ahead. You know, like, okay. You know,
driveway.
broad daylight.
Right now, what do you do now? And what it allowed me to do is just get the work done. So what had taken me 6 months up until then, it was like it took no time for me to get everything else just wrapped up and done. And the words that you say are so powerful because I recognize that I said right before the cars went down, I just need like a month to just sit and just lock in.
And then boom, now
Now
you sitting.
you ain't got no wheels to go nowhere, right? So you gotta lock in, right?
I said, okay, I'm not playing with my words no more. That's what just happened. Okay, so what does alignment look like for y'all?
Alignment. Look, just operating from ease and flow, like feeling like when I'm doing something, it's just like no chaos. It's just I'm operating from a place of ease and flow, and I feel that too. And also too, I just feel like too, just understanding what your purpose is, like, and seeing that out. For me, that's alignment. It's just like understanding what the purpose is and seeing that out. And through this process of alignment, I've been really digging deeper to like understand myself better, understand the younger Dwayna better, but then also to understand, then back to God, connecting with God on understanding what the purpose is He has for me. Because one of the things I realized is I was operating from a place of where I was thinking I was in alignment, because it was like this was the plan I had set for doing it, and the plan happened. Truly being in alignment is understanding what the path and purpose is that was set from the Most High. So I would say that for me, that's what alignment.
Yes, I would
And
piggyback
Donna?
on that. Having God at the center, that's alignment, right? Having God at the center, because when He's at the center, like you mentioned, Dwayne, something, no chaos. That's not realistic. Let's talk about reality, right? Motherhood is chaotic. Like there's gonna be chaos, but it's about, okay, if God is at the center, you know how to maneuver. You know how to maneuver through the chaos, right? You don't let the chaos sit with you. You feel it, and you come up with a solution, right? So I would say for me, true alignment is having God at the center of everything that we do. And then also, after God is in the center, putting you in the center, right? Because when we have all of these titles and different hats that we wear, it's like, no, I need to do this for the kids, or my husband needs this. And it's like, girl, what do you need? What do you need? How are you going to like still fulfill your purpose and your dreams that God has given you? Because God allowed us to be moms, right? But that's not the only reason why we're here. So one of the things I know for me and Dwayna, we have this conversation, we realize that too, having a traumatic childhood makes us like put on the like step on the gas for motherhood. It's like we can reel it back a little bit. Like we're showing up intentionally, so the kids are gonna, like, we're doing a thing, and we don't have to give more than what we have to give, because we want to make sure that we don't leave any blind spots because of our trauma or fears, right? So alignment is keeping God at the center, and then making sure you prioritize yourself, for me. And then from that, we're going to be operating from ease and flow. From that, we're going to be able to use tools to navigate the tough times in life. From that, we're going to know, okay, this is what God told me to do with my gifts and talents. So that's alignment for me.
Mm-hmm.
What does the partnership and the sisterhood look like at this point? Now you're not even on the East Coast anymore, Donna.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? There's no ripping and running up the road no more. So what does that look like?
I used to be ripping, boy. I would get in
Yeah.
that car with
So okay.
the
So I think you would, and we would be up and down the highway, both of us. But Dwayna will come to Charlotte more because all of our immediate family was there. So we still talk on the phone almost every day. The weekends have been a little bit more family time, me time. So we don't really talk as much on the weekends. We're like filling our own cups or working. We work on the weekends. It's like we've realized too, like we have put an insane amount of pressure on ourselves as business owners. As overachievers, the is probably more of an overachiever than me. I'd be like, I'm kind of a little hippie-ish in there. She'd be like, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I'm like, no, A, C, Z, B. So one of the things, we still talk every day. We still have our weekly meetings. But I think I'm starting to really feel like the missing of the village. But one of the ways we stay connected is we literally talk every day. We pray. We do Bible study things together. We make sure that we stay connected spiritually. I mean, we're twins, so we're always going to be connected. So too, like we're also each other's accountability partners. So nothing really changed besides the distance, I would say.
Yeah, and another thing that we did too, speaking on like just the business and pivot, we actually did therapy together as business partners. Yeah. So that, I think that, speaking of change, I think that put a little bit more things in perspective for Donna, for her to see things from my lens, maybe, I think. And then also I saw some things differently from Donna's perspective, but it was so interesting. Donna's therapist thinks like more logical, a little bit more like me. So she's like, oh, okay, I can understand this. I think it was when we bring in a third party, I think it's always great to be able to like really be able to sit back and gauge, okay, and then we're like, okay, I understand that, because coming from each of us, sometimes it may be the tone or just the relationship that we may not be able to hear or see it. So we really from that therapy session, we was like, okay, we're going to show up in the business different. Like we can't do, yes, we like had success in the past, but since we are not trying, we are pivoting. We're going to show up in the business differently, right? So we did we did what, three sessions or two, either 3 or 2 sessions together. It was, yeah, so we did a few of them, and then so we outlined some things that we need to work on personally, what we need to work on as a team, and I think that was like a great thing for us to do. So we recommend that for business partners, family members that are business partners, go to therapy, okay? And funny thing, before I go into it was already mentioned to us that we needed therapy from a coach that we was about to hire a few years ago, maybe like 4 years ago. We ended up just hiring somebody to help us pivot and change the business instead, which we probably should have took her on what she mentioned. Needless to say, outside of that, I think for me, nothing. Yeah, we talk every day. We're still close. We're just not, we are trying to navigate like the in-person events and how we're maneuvering that once we start getting back out there when it comes to like being in person. But since we've been able to work with clients from really anywhere in the world, we've made everything digital to where it doesn't necessarily have to be something that because she's in a different market, something that really is detrimental to our business. I think the new market is actually even better for us when it comes to business, because she's Dallas, Texas area. That's like a phenomenal area for our business to expand to, and I think it's way more opportunities than would come from North Carolina for sure.
So what does success actually look like? Has that changed now that you had therapy, you have the mastermind? Has your focus, of course, the pivot alone has changed, but what does now success look like for you as a team?
That's a great
So
question.
I think success looks like us both showing up fully for the business, right? I think that's one major thing. I think also us being able to communicate a little bit more effectively. I think that's really important when it comes to just team, being able to communicate more effectively. I know there's like different areas of communication that I can work on, so I think it was beneficial for me to learn more about like the different ways I could do that better as a leader, because it's important to be able to communicate. And I think therapy also showed when it comes to communication and like just us working as a team, so that way it shows for the people that come under us, because we had hiccups building team. Okay. And at first we was just like, what is going on with these people? Like, why we can't get nobody? But we realized, okay, we got some things we need to work on. So that way, as leaders, there's no confusion that's showing up or uncertainty when it comes to different things that we're having the team do. So I think the communication and being able, I think that was those two things were the two things that I would say.
Yeah, so I would say communication for sure is a big one, because communication is literally anything you do, you need to communicate, but also setting realistic like goals and expectations, right? I think also too, like therapy has helped us like get on one accord about like setting goals and like adding Dwayna's analytical part, like, okay, we need to add a number here, right? But then also being more like thinking about, okay, the creative side, like being realistic, okay, how long is it going to take us to really do this? And one of the things we realized too is like when we were hitting the success prior to 6-figure business, right? And it's like we would have like 5 to 8 things on our to-do list. It's like, okay, that's not success, right? That's burnout, because we've experienced it. And when you're when you own a business, some people might think that's success, like staying busy, checking things off the list. But success today might be going to get a pedicure, right? Because I need this relaxation to knock out the rest of the things that I do have on my list. So I would say balancing or creating harmony with business and our lives, because as entrepreneurs, your life is going to fall into your business, vice versa. So to me, that would be success, like creating the a balance or harmony between your hats and your roles. That's true success.
So I have some rapid fire questions, and either one of you can answer. It's like 6 questions. So, what's a current non-negotiable boundary that y'all have set?
Okay. Yeah, so mine is not being like accessible to everyone. Like during the day, if I didn't check something off my list, I'm not hopping on this phone call. I'll call you back tomorrow, today, like maybe later today, but I'm not like I used to be always accessible to everyone. It's like now it's like I can't do that. It's not sustainable. It's not healthy. Yeah. So that's me, like setting boundaries when it comes to always being available.
Mm-hmm. I think for me is um being okay with not being available. Because I think I've been in a space where I've been on like D&D, do not disturb, for a while. And so like oftentimes people don't like that, right? Like, we grown into this culture to where it's like you got to be reachable just because you have a cell phone. It's like, no, I don't. So being okay with, even if I'm finally getting to my work day and I see a call coming through, I see it. Being okay with not feeling like I have to pick it up because the person is gonna feel a way about me not being accessible. So I think that's one of the things for me, just being okay with having being focused and staying locked in on that focus, because I feel like because I've been multitasking for so long, my brain doesn't even know how to operate on one thing now, right? Now I gotta play workflow music to even just focus. It's just like, girl, you can't even sit down and do nothing. So yeah, my nervous system is deregulated for sure. But I need to rewire it. So I'm in the process of rewiring this nervous system. So when I am able to get in laser focus on one thing, I'm like, Dwayna, I see you calling, but I don't. Talk to you later, and I'm okay with that. You'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Right.
You briefly mentioned this, but you didn't go into it. What does delegation like? What's the hardest thing for you both to delegate at this point? And do you delegate?
Oh
Our children,
man.
and I mean, I think this is accurate. When our children, we're like we have this mindset that would like, okay, it's our kids, we have to do it, right? We have to do it all. And it's like, no, it's okay. It's okay for
Mhm.
their daddies to do this. It's okay. Like, and one of the things for me, it was like I had this mindset of, okay, but he's not gonna do it right. And it's like, girl, do standards. Like, if it's getting done, let it get like, come on now. So that's one of the things I can say from the both of us. But you probably want to add something else, Wayna.
I would say, yeah, for me, I would say I still like, regardless of growing team or not, I still feel like I have to be the last eyes to check everything. Like, even when it comes to like me and Donna stuff, it's like I gotta be the last eyes to check it. So I want to get out of I want to be able to build more trust when it comes to the team and get out of that. But I'm like, I gotta be the last. I can't. For some reason, I'm like still the bottleneck when it comes to that, and it's just like something that I can't. It's like, yeah, you necessarily don't have to, but you just look at it, and So being the last pair of eyes on something, I want to work on getting out of that.
Well, what's one tool that you can't live without right now?
Oh, Google Calendar. I need the
Canva.
calendar, okay? Let me tell you, my calendar is color coded. I have time blocks. Everything needs to be on the calendar, okay? It, talk about ease and flow. It helps with the ease and the flow, okay?
And for me, it's Canva, because I've been getting in my content, no, my graphic designer bag, and Canva has been my go-to, my bestie. So I'm like,
Listen, bestie.
yes.
Listen, she's
So
been in her graphic designer bag. She's been in her graphic designer bag. She's trying to elevate it. Come
yeah,
on.
I want to elevate it, because I've been self-taught, so I want to enhance my skill with like a course or something, or I was thinking about going back to school for it, but I'm like, I can get certified. Just got to get the coins to get the certifications. Because I'm like, I really been enjoying graphic design, and I feel like like infusing AI with it would be great. So I'm like, I need to learn that.
Yeah. Let's see. A word that describes this season.
Okay, you went out a little bit there, so I didn't get the last end of that. A word that describes this.
This season.
Ooh, intentionality. Two,
I would say
intentionality and discipline. Um,
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay,
Consistency.
so our business works better now because
Because
Hmm.
we are doing the work, not just the work for our clients, we're doing the work for self. And I think that's important because in order for you to show up the best version of yourself, you have to pour in and fill your own cups. You just can't service everyone else without servicing yourself.
Hmm.
how about you for Dwayne?
I
How
would
about
say,
for you, Dwayna?
I would say, ask the question again, please.
Sure. So our business works better now because
Hmm. Our business works better now because I would go back to communication. I understand. I feel like we the more years we grow in business, the more we can learn how to better communicate, and the more we're be able to understand each other as co-founders, and we're better able to operate. So I would say because of communication and understanding.
Mhm.
so now this one is a little bit more about the PR side, but now I know that's pivoted a little bit. But visibility without blank is a waste. So if you don't have blank, what makes it a waste to have the visibility?
Visibility without
Authenticity.
consistency. Oh, you said authenticity. I say consistency. Yeah. Okay. And I was going to say this before you ask the next question. Consistency for me, which I'm learning because I would cause myself overwhelm. Okay. Because I was thinking consistency is like a day to day thing. Like get up and do this day to day. And it's like, no, consistency looks like what you're doing week to week. And you can't gauge something off of 1 week. You got to gauge it off of multiple weeks, right? A success. So you can't say I'm gonna show up on. You got to pee. Okay, 1 second. Oh, Donna, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So was that your one word? I think that was her one word. Consistency. Mine was authenticity. And I say visibility without that. Because if you're not showing up your authentic self, you might as well not be showing up. Right? Because it's like some people can't, like some people can be catfished, right? But when it comes to your true like your buyers, your people who are going to invest into helping you grow your business, you being authentic, showing up authentically, it needs to happen at the forefront of your business. Because people who know, they know, they can see that it's not real, right? And I think too, we live in this popcorn culture to where social media is like, just show up, just do this, follow this trend, follow that trend. It's like, is it you? Right? Because if it's not you, you're gonna look uncomfortable. Like if you're wearing something that you're not supposed to wear, you're gonna be uncomfortable. Like, so it's like, is it authentic? That's important.
Very important. So now, and I should wait, but I'll ask. Now that it's 2025, we have AI, we'll call it oversaturation in the market. What does it actually look like and short attention spans? Let's not forget that. What still works in the PR space and connecting your creatives to visibility and being out there? And then is visibility most important, or is it the positioning that we're trying to accomplish for the clients? Like what's most important?
I think both are kind of hand in hand, but when it comes to positioning your story, like, what is the story? That's very important because that's really, people buy into what you're, like, who you are, right? Let's just be real. Like, a lot of people, like, even if you're not the face of your company, your business, like, what's the story? What story are you telling? What's going to get people, like, pulling on people's heartstrings to even want to pull out their wallets to spend their dollars? Because we know that we're in a time too where, like, companies are closing left to right. Money's tight for a lot of people, a lot of corporations, but it's like, what's going to get people to really invest and spend their money on what you have to sell? So I would say, yeah, that is. I feel like that's important. Yeah.
And Dwayne, I was just asking about, like, okay, there's oversaturation, we have short attention span, and with people like still looking for visibility, but is it visibility that they're looking for, or is it positioning? Like, what's most important for clients, especially now that you're working with creatives? Because I know our minds are a little bit different. Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think both. I think positioning is really important because you have to be able to tell people like who you are, what it is that you do, right? Really truly understand the why. And I think the positioning helps with the brand messaging to be able to push the message out there and to get visibility. So I think first you need to be clear on what that is, and then you can go ahead and get the visibility. But when it comes to your brand positioning, I think too, one of the things that you want to think of when it comes to PR is if you're newer in PR, you can borrow credibility from somebody, right? Well-known names or well-known brands that people are familiar with. You don't want to steal their credibility. You could borrow credibility. So there's a difference. You say I'm similar to Martha Stewart, right? If somebody that does things similar to her, but you're not saying that I am Martha Stewart, obviously. So I think positioning is important to be able to say, okay, now I'm ready to be visible. Because one of the things that you'll find is when you're trying to, and this is another thing too when it comes to marketing. Marketing is all about testing things out, right? Seeing what works, what sticks, and making it better or going back to the drawing board. You could come up with a position and realize that as you're going through your visibility campaign and strategy, that the brand ain't sticking, the positioning ain't sticking because the messaging is not there, right? So first understand your position and then make sure that you have brand messaging that matches that, and then you're ready for visibility. And if you feel like nobody, once you're doing that visibility strategy and you feel like you're investing and nothing is working, you need to go back to your brand positioning and your brand messaging. So that it's overall, I feel like something that you gauge throughout the process of your marketing strategies.
So let's go back to the book because I can see over your shoulder. So, what has that process been like for you from writing it to actually putting it out into the market? What is your brand positioning? Like, what does the
Yeah.
visibility look like? What has your process been?
Yeah, so speaking of brand positioning, this book is all about representations to show black girls and boys that they can also be figures in STEM, right? They can be paleontologists. So one of the reasons why I wrote the book is because I realized as my son was learning about dinosaurs, we did home learning. So before he went to pre-K, he was at home with me. And as we were in the process of doing the home learning, I realized that nobody on TV looked like him. Like nobody on TV looked like him. I couldn't find a black person. And I'm like, I know it has to be black. So I researched black people in paleontology and I did find some. They were old, but we didn't see them visibly on TV. The way they see things nowadays is like they see it on TV, then they make it that makes them feel like they can do it too, right? It makes it more believable. So I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just have you dress up as a paleontologist. We got the gear, we got the fossils, we got the eggs, and we started doing the stuff at home. And I realized, I'm like, okay, my son don't have just an ordinary love for dinosaurs. Like he loves them. So let's go ahead and create a book out of it. So because I didn't see other people, I wanted one of the other kids to be like, okay, I can see myself because you see Nasir the paleontologist. And one of the things that I've been getting since doing these book readings is the fact that all the black boys and girls are like, even brown boys and girls are like, that looks like me. Like, and I've heard so many stories about millennials now because we're not the kids anymore. We're grown. We're in our 40s.
When did that happen?
Yeah, so the millennials now, like, I used to love dinosaurs when I was younger. And I'm like, right, what if you would have seen this book? What if you would have seen a book like this? Like, would you have studied in STEM or further in paleontology and things of that nature? So that's the positioning there. It's like, it was a need for it, right? Because we don't see too many black boys and girls in paleontology. Now as far as the process and the journey, have been things that I've been realizing along the way of this journey of authorship, and I'm like, I want to go ahead and start documenting. And this is one of the reasons why me and Donna realized like you can be giving these communication strategies and marketing strategies and visibility strategies to other authors because I've learned so much along the way, like coupling it with our Donna's brand strategy and coupling it with the experience that I've already had, and I realized, okay, we need to be helping authors get their story out, because one of the things they don't realize is like, it takes more than just putting out the book. You got to have money to market that bad boy. Are you paying for advertising? Are you at vendor events? Are you donating books and doing giveaways? Like all of that costs money, right? And a lot of times, you spend all your money creating the product, which is one of the things I did. I spent all the money creating the product, and then I'm like, okay, now I don't have any money to help produce the product. Now it's great because I have communication skills, but I can't be and do everything, right? So it's like being able to have money set aside to help market it, I think is really important. After you decide that you want to create a book, or after you publish a book, make sure that you have a marketing budget for it. That's one of the things I'm learning along the journey. Make sure you're able to hire people like me and Donna to be able to help you create visibility around the book. Because one of the things when it comes to authorship, that's the only thing you're trying to do is create visibility around your book for them to either buy, sell, or share with a friend, right? So those are things that I've learned along the journey, and that's the reason for the book. But I'm so super excited about it. We just made our 1 year anniversary in October, and I'm looking forward to 2026 because we have so many different events and things going on. So one of the things that I've been doing, speaking of, getting visibility, and one of the services that we offer, we've been offering this, but we're doing it just a little bit differently when it comes to brand partnerships and sponsorship. So because we offer this service within our business, I was able to apply this skill to my authorship, and I'm pitching myself to different brands and organizations to do a workshop with them, to do an interactive reading or workshop. And we're locking in events for 2026. So I'm really excited about that. So when it comes to just authorship, you really got to be intentional about your PR strategy, your marketing strategy, your brand partnership strategy. Just really be able to show up. And I've been utilizing the digital space to do that too. Just being able to take them on a journey of like a day in the life of an author and a mompreneur. To share like what that looks like for me, even if I'm not getting any work done that day. Like, what do I have to do on the
That's
days
the
when I
one.
get work done? Right. So that is work. But I'm saying like business work. Yeah, like business. So I'm super.
Dwayna's still working through the analytics of what work means, right? For her, it has to be like her physically doing, like, if she's not like physically on a computer doing like creating a pitch, that's not work for her. So she's shifting because that's not true.
That's
True.
work. That's totally work.
The stories we tell ourselves.
Because if you don't do it, that visibility isn't there for you. People don't see you. And we were just talking about sharing our story in our day to day, and you sharing that is so important. So, and let me just put it out there, because I saw you, I was able to see, oh, my son now is looking at this book,
Yeah.
and it's something that we should totally buy. So that's work. That's work.
Yeah.
I'm your target market there, because my son, he just turned 5, and he's so into dinosaurs right now. So into dinosaurs. And because he has that diagnosis on the spectrum, like reading and communication is huge for him. And I mean, he's using more words now. We started out and he was completely nonverbal. So reading the book to him is
Jasmine,
helpful.
you just made me think about something which I want to add to it. So I know they have at the library, they have days to where they have like STEM days to where they do like a lot of sensory stuff, right? So now I'm even thinking, now that you mention it, it's like eventually, like I'm working on the second book, but eventually I want to add products, like a sensory kit, a STEM sensory kit that can go along with it. But even thinking about like, because you say he's on the spectrum, I just from my experience of being around kids with autism, I know they like textures and they like the sounds. So find dinosaurs with the sounds in it as you're reading the book, and maybe get the kinetic sand and do the fossils with him. I feel like he would really enjoy.
Listen, all of the above. He needs all of that. That would be really, really good. And if you made that a kit, we would totally be your affiliates and share our journey, because he really would enjoy the sand, and he has like little dinosaurs that he's playing with besides watching it on TV or on the iPad or anything like that. So yes, 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 yes.
Yes, I'm super excited about what's to come of the book. I want it to be a series of overall brand to where, just like Ryan's Toy World, I could see it being something like that. Like to where it's like, okay, I'm bringing my nephews in. We all killing colleges and we all filming and stuff, and we're all showing up and being able to inspire the next generation of Black boys and girls to let them know that anything you want to be, you can be. One of the quotes I have in there is imagination can impact a future that does not exist, and that's a quote by me. Imagination can impact a future that does not exist. And I created that because kids have imaginations, and oftentimes we're like, you can't. I mean, for us, we were told, our parents were told, you can't be this, you can't do this. And Nas even shared something with me and our YouTube community that something that one of his teachers mentioned, right? Like, you cannot be a YouTuber. That's not a career. People are making millions of dollars on YouTube. People are making millions of dollars on live stream. Who can't be what? So as long as you imagine that you can be it, it can impact your future. That does not exist. Just imagine and you can do it.
Now, what would you tell a mompreneur that has gone through a very similar journey between trauma and the mindset shifts? What do you tell them? Like, I have an idea that I want to act on, but I don't feel like I have capacity. What would you tell them of how they can show up and to make it happen?
I would say first to get clear, one of the things that like I've been making sure I do like the past few months is like writing this stuff down, right? Like if you feel like you don't have capacity, okay, write it down. Like where's your capacity currently going? Like so you can get it on paper so you can actually visually see. My therapist taught me something about, she was just saying something about like when you write the stuff down on paper, it does something to your subconscious. So get clear on, okay, why don't I have capacity? And if this is something that you really want to do, how do I get capacity? What do I eliminate from what I'm currently doing to make sure I'm, following my dreams? Because what's going to happen is you keep continuing to say, I don't have time, I don't have the capacity. You're going to start to resent your life, the people around you, because it's like you're not living out to your full potential. So I would say get clear, write it down, write out your vision. The new year's about to come out. Come create a vision board. Even if there's no timeline to say you have to do it at the end of the year, right? You can always create vision boards. You can always make your vision plain and clear. I think that'll be the first step.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, one of the things that we do is help you strategize and help you make your vision clear. And we do brand strategy sessions to help you figure out what your vision is, the purpose is, the mission is, the brand messaging, the position. We help you outline that. I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day, and she's working on something, and I'm like, girl, we can strategize. And one of the common things that I realized just from our comments, like the conversation I had with my girlfriend, but also just the conversation we've been having in our mastermind, of the feeling of like, a lot of us feel stuck. A lot of women, it's like so common and normal for us to feel stuck, especially when we start adding in the roles of like, wife and mother. It's easy for us to get in the space of feeling like there's more for us, but we can't. Somehow it's unattainable, like, because we can do anything. It's like the stories we tell ourselves again. It's like we tell ourselves the story that we can't get it done or we can't do it because of whatever the stories is, right? But then we realize like, no, you can get it done. It's just you need help. So making sure that you can bring in somebody that can help you strategize it, I think, is really important. So I just wanted to piggyback off of that, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And what's something that you would share with your younger self?
I think since I'm so clear on where I need to work at in self-worth, I think I realized that has been showing up for me since my younger self. So I would tell my younger self, know your value. Like, truly know your value, sis. And that's for any and everybody, right? Know your value and stand on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And I would probably tell my younger self, let's see. I don't know. I feel like when my younger self was fearless, my younger self, Yeah, sometimes I be wanting my younger self to come pop back up. I mean, she pops up, of course, right? She's always in us. Maybe that you don't like, you are your safety. You don't need clarity, right? One of the things we realize I realized in my mastermind is like I thrive off of clarity. And it's like, girl, you're not gonna always have that, right? So when I don't have clarity, it's like I feel unsafe, or that's where the overwhelm or the anxiousness kicks in. It's like, no, you are safe. You don't have to have all the answers, because just do, and you will see. Like, you don't have to have a clear vision of what's to come.
So good.
And Jasmine, I want to piggyback on, because I realized I wanted to ask something to the last question you asked, and it's about how can women just get like push out the product or vision that they have for themselves, correct? And one of the things that I also want to share too is like one of the to understand like if this is truly something you're supposed to be doing. One of the things I'm trying to do more too is just journal and write it out, like Donna mentioned. But to truly understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing, I think journaling and pulling back experiences from your childhood, and I'm not saying to pull back, trauma or anything like that, but certain things in your life that you've experienced, you once you tie it to what you feel like your purpose is, you realize that, oh, I've been doing this all along. So I think too, just sitting down and doing some walks down memory lane, I guess, in a sense, and figuring out different experiences and highs throughout your journey in your life that really stood out for you, and start correlating that to what it is that you want to put out. Sometimes some things may come about that just arise in us that we want to create, but oftentimes it's always been there. Like, so, we talked about previously how we was sharing word of mouth and being a brand ambassadors and strategizing on how to get more people to join the Salvation Army. That wasn't something that we knew we was doing as a child, but as we sit back and really pull out our experiences, we realize, girl, you've been doing that all along, right? You've been,
Yeah.
sharing the message and growing community and managing community when you was younger and you didn't even realize it. So I just wanted to add that
Yeah.
to how you can really start something. And once you pinpoint, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, it's going to be easy for you to get it done, because you're going to feel, I've been doing this all along. I'm capable. Imposter syndrome may
Yeah.
pop in every now and then, but you have it start. You understand what the true purpose is, and I feel like once you understand, it's easier for you to do. Right? It's like, better than you do better. Mhm.
That's why history is so important and going back and just analyzing what that looked like for you. So I always ask about like what would you tell your younger self, because you've learned so much from that childhood, that 8-year old or that
Yeah.
21-year old, and where you are today. It's like there's so much history there that you can go back and really glean wisdom and opportunity. Because I mean, okay, for me as a dancer, I love to dance, but do I dance regularly now? No. But in fitness and things like that, that'll help me to keep my body moving and stop the aches and pains as I get closer to 40 and all the things. Like,
But
Bring
Jasmine, even things
joy.
like
Bring
that,
you
like what were the
the joy.
feelings that you felt? Oh, sorry, Donna, you were talking.
Yeah, I was like, that's the joy. Like, that brings you joy, to get through the tough chaos.
Yeah, and I was going, like, even pulling back your story, right? It's like you always loved to dance, but what were, like, now, like, digging deeper, what were some of the feelings that was like, what were some of the emotions that you felt when you were dancing when you were younger?
let me tell you, the younger side of me was like, I love this, the 16-year-old side of me. And then at 21, I think I was 21, I was leading in ministry and I was the liturgical dance teacher. I was like locked in with the girls, but got sat down because I got pregnant, and then I had a miscarriage, my very first miscarriage. So then there was that trauma, and then I haven't really danced professionally since. And I
Mhm.
mean, I used to travel and do a whole lot. So there's story. This is why I always go back to like what would you tell your younger self? What did you learn as a child and that you can like look to now to help you become the best version of yourself?
Yeah, and that speaking of the whole premise of this, like how we started off the episode about navigating our like gifts through grief. Like you just said, you stopped dancing once you lost. I heard lost, and it's like now I got to pick it back up and figure it out all over again. But I think too, even just sharing that part of your journey. Imagine how many dancers experience the same thing you experience and are trying to figure out how to get the love for dance back, right? And you, Jasmine, you figured it out. You got the solution that to their problem because you figured it out. Now you're going to share this solution to with everybody else, and now you have dancers that have grown past grief and loss, and they've been able to find the love for dance again. And like now you're the go-to person for dancing.
Exactly.
So it's like,
And but that's the power of your story. Like, of course,
right,
I didn't think about it in that perspective, but here we are.
You know what? Saving Life Dance is my favorite movie growing up. Like that is Saving Life Dance story right there. That's the story.
And and you know how God doesn't leave you alone about a thing, and it just keeps coming back up.
Yeah.
I know that's one of those things for me. Leadership in dance is something that I have been doing since I was a teenager, and then at 21, and then I stopped. Like that's the enemy being able to
Yeah.
win in me not showing up because I know I was doing so much good in the teenagers' lives that I was working with. Of course, now you're not showing up as your best self. You're pregnant and I'm married and all these things in church and all the things that come with getting sat down. But then the devastation happened. So I was never the same after that. But you
Mhm.
know, it's all about getting back and not like you said, not necessarily getting back, but the growth that comes with the journey. So yeah.
yeah, and then Jasmine just even got my creative juices flowing. Think about the different brand partners you can have, like with lost grief groups and things of that nature. Like you could have a whole workshop, a dance workshop for women that experience. Oh, listen, the possibilities are endless. But like needless to say, this is what I'm saying when it comes to like your journey. There's opportunity. You can create services and products and offerings from your story. You can create those things from your story, and you could, because you found the solution, right? It worked for you, so why wouldn't it work for everybody else? Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, you're telling me off right now. It's okay. I'm just gonna let you do it.
Yeah, but no, I love that. And then I'm thinking too, like even with you having an autistic son, right? Wouldn't he love dance? Right?
Listen,
How would that
loves it.
Moms, you
right?
can.
So like how would that correlate? Yeah, like maybe starting an organization with children. Like you said, you were doing it with children and that brought you joy. You know, people who are on the spectrum, they need things for their children to do so they can get I'm not, 100% into like what the diagnosis and things is, but I see things and I know that they need to stay busy. Moms need breaks. So that'll be I mean,
What we
oh,
need to do now is have a whole nother strategy session and
yes,
record that and then put that out there because I know it's so much power in what we all do. It might not be the same, but it supports. And this is the importance of Moms Behind the Brand because
yes.
what your gifting is different from what Donna's gifting is, Dwayna. And then what my gifting is different from both of yours. And but putting it together, the partnerships, what comes from that is
Mhm.
endless, like you said. So yeah,
Absolutely.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's been an absolute pleasure, ladies. Where can everybody find you so they can stay connected? And what do you have coming up next?
Yes,
Yeah,
you guys
so
can find that.
TGND Consult. Sorry, one of your lag. Your lag.
Okay.
Okay. TGND Consulting on all platforms: Instagram, Facebook, our website, tgndconsultant.com. We're on LinkedIn. You can follow us on LinkedIn too. We're trying to get in our LinkedIn bag this year. 2026 is LinkedIn. Okay. And then what we have coming up. We have our Aligned and Thriving from Overwhelmed to Overflowing Summit that will be live January 2nd. This episode may not be out by then, but even after, we are going to open up the gates to where you can actually purchase the summit. It's going to be a great summit. We have a lot of great women who are inspirational, motivational, doing the thing in entrepreneurship right now who are part of the summit. We also will be doing workshops, master classes. So we have a lot of great things coming. So you can check all that out on our website.
All right. Well, Donna and Dwayna, it has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to scheduling another strategy session so we can
Yes.
actually talk and work through this and share what it looks like to have an idea. Everybody will be able to see the ideas being birthed here and then see it come to life. I think that'll be really powerful for women that are just trying to get out ideas out of their head and into action.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you for having us. Bye.
Bye, Dwayna. Bye, Donna.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.